Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some Toronto Raptors news. And Riker, today was the day that we were sort of expecting, or at least maybe not today exactly, but in this range of days, we're expecting to hear the news on the grand debate that we've been throwing out over the past couple of weeks about what players at the end of the bench will end up making the roster. And fortunately for a couple of guys today, Freddie Gillespie and Reggie Perry, They have been cut. They have been waived. People have waved bye-bye to those two guys onto the squad. That's what people always say into the chats. Reggie Perry didn't have a long tenure with the Raptors. I'm sad to see Freddie Gillespie go due to his personality and these sorts of things. I made a TikTok about him. Before we talk about the new signing, do you have any words about Freddie Gillespie leaving, Riker?
So I put my hands up, playing that song, The Butterfly Flies Away. Out in my head, like, yeah. I mean, we can't keep a guy on the roster just because of his ability to commit to some rookie hazing, but he is a legend for that. So we won't forget the man. Listen, we'll never forget the good Baylor boy. Hopefully we'll get at least 1 out of 2 in Ishmael Wainwright, but we shall see, Ben.
Yeah. It's now Ishmael Decker and Bonga that are fighting for a spot, and a new player, Riker. It's been brought into the mix. It's been reported from JD Shaw of Hoops Rumors saying that the Toronto Raptors are reportedly signing Josh Hall to an Exhibit 10 contract. So this is one of those unguaranteed training camp deals that a lot of these unguaranteed players have brought in. And this was a pretty significant surprise to a lot of people, just because all the talk has been around the guys that are currently in camp fighting for roster positions. We'll dive into the actual possibility of this player sort of making the team, and if he's could potentially just be a guy that gets immediately thrown down to the G League, because I think that's a possible scenario. But he has some intriguing sort of abilities. You look at his numbers, his stats, they're not that impressive. He played last season with Oklahoma City Thunder. He was a two-way player, only 4 points, 2 rebounds, played in 21 games, 30% from the field, Riker, and an unfortunate 10% from behind the three-point line. But he is only 20. He's 6'9". He's uber athletic. You watch his highlights. He can finish around the rim. He can get into the lane. What are your initial thoughts, reactions after just seeing a few highlights of this guy, looking at the box score? What are your thoughts on the Raptors signing Josh Hall, bring him into the organization?
Ben, 1 for 10 would have been unfortunate. That would have hit the clean 10%. But no. Unfortunately, this man was 4 for 37. I'm not going to call it volume. That's not volume shooting, but he's getting up more, almost 2
It's not a great sample size, but it's enough to
have major concerns. This man is twice as bad as Pascal Siakam on his worst year. Upsides: 6'9", positionless, was ranked a top 50 player in the country. US, obviously, that's where the rankings are coming from, coming out of high school into the draft. Now, he didn't go to college. Apparently, he took a victory lap in high school and then went straight to draft eligibility. So there is some interesting kind of typical, all of the guys that the Raptors looking at this offseason. Long, athletic, raw potential from the athleticism. But this seems to be the farthest from having any bit of polish, any bit of ready now abilities. If he can't shoot, if he is that dismal at shooting, there's no way he's ever going to crack the roster, Ben. That's just a fact. It's a make or miss league. And if you're a 10% 3-point shooter, you're lucky to get a G League contract. You'd be lucky to play in Newfoundland on the CBL or whatever the basketball league is there.
The St. John's Edge are recruiting, Riker. You and I gotta try out, but I don't know. I think that might be a bit of an exaggeration, because as you mentioned, the size that he brings to the game does show a lot of potential for him as a player, and he is a strong finisher around the rim. He reminds me, I made a video on Reggie Perry a couple of weeks back. From the highlights we've seen, it looks almost as if it's a Reggie Perry clone, I want to say, a little bit. And the jump shot, yes, the 10%, you brought up the sample size. It's not something you could just completely write off, right? 1 for 10 or whatever, then you can just say, it is what it is, right? You can take Klay Thompson's sample for one game and say he's a trash shooter, but it's enough to shake your head at a little bit. But in high school, because we don't have any college stats to go off of, but he did play for one of the top prep schools in the States. But he shot 30% from three. Still not very encouraging. Still a baby 3-point line in high school. So it's something maybe a little bit encouraging there. And I guess it's always exciting the same way Pascal Siakam with his rookie year, right? We were excited that he was just taking them, because if he's taking them, at least, he's making them in practice, right? He's not Ben Simmons in it, even though he seems to make them 100 out of 100 times in highlight training videos and stuff, but at least he has the confidence to let it fly. So that's one positive thing to bring up there. I also forgot to mention in the intro of this video, Reggie Perry, he's likely going to be signed to the Raptors 905, assuming he doesn't get picked up by another NBA team. So nice to see. We'll see more of him now with the farm team, see how it all works out with his NBA future with the Toronto Raptors. But if I had to make a case, especially with how strong Wainwright, Decker, and obviously Bonga's potential sort of shows it to be, I don't think there's a real shot of him coming in, especially not getting an opportunity in training camp to make this roster.
Zero, Ben. 0% is his chance at breaking the roster. Zero. No decimals. You can go infinitely down the line into the hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, quazillions, whatever. Zero. It's all zeros. He's not breaking the roster. Again, I think that this guy would be lucky to crack a G League. I am looking at his highlights as we speak. Nothing's broken.
Yeah.
His form doesn't seem broken. He's just not scoring in any way except put his head down.
He's a big dude.
Kind of hard. Yeah, but listen, if you're playing against the top defenders in the NBA and you don't even have a left-hand dribble, if you don't have a crossover, if you don't have more than a spin move and a put your head down and bang your way to the basket, how are you going to score? How are you going to score in the NBA? I mean, obviously he can't shoot the three, he can't shoot the midi, so he's just getting layups. He's not Zion Williamson. I don't mean to be too critical on this man, but you did have me excited when you said we signed someone to a 10-day. What?
You don't think Josh Hull's the next Zion Williamson record?
Well, listen, maybe he'll spend the next 10 in the weight room and just come out completely transformed.
We're ready to go. Exhibit 10 contract, right? He's got 10 days to just completely grind it out. We've seen Sam Decker come up clutch, playing like his life is on the line. Maybe Josh Hall's gonna get in that weight room, get behind the 3-point line, and just completely transform his game. But that's the expectation. I don't think anyone really expects him to make the roster at this point. However, Riker, long term, does adding in another, you look at his frame, he's a bigger dude, right? I got an image of him. I realized it zoomed in, you can't even really see. You see him in the thumbnail, right? How swole he is, how yoked he is. But bringing another athlete at just 20 years old, bring him into the 905 system. Do you think there's any chance in the long run, like a lot of 905 guys have at some point, to crack the roster, crack the rotation in years to come? Or do you like a Reggie Perry more?
I don't think either of them have any chance in the world. If I was a betting man, I would put money on these guys never grazing the court for the Toronto Raptors. It's the sad reality of basketball. There's a small percentage of players that, even make the G League that ever get onto an NBA team. But we just have so much talent and so much depth where we were concerned that we'd even be able to slim our team down to 15 players, that guys that have these atrocious stat lines and have had somewhat of an opportunity to showcase their talents. If you can't do it quickly, like we saw Decker do, or like we saw, I don't know, some other guys that took advantage of very small,
Utah,
a little bit of daylight. Utah last year, right? He's now a fan favorite, so you have to be able to do that.
Threes.
Ishmael Wainwright very well might have saved his NBA career with hitting that corner three in the last game against the Washington Wizards. He might have. It's not an over-exaggeration. When the race is that tight between the last couple of players on that deep bench spot, that 1-3 might have given that man an NBA contract. So It is interesting, Ben. Do you have different expectations for this guy? Obviously, we're trying to take two different sides, but it's probably hard to debate that this guy is going to be a Raptor even 2-3 years down the road.
I think starter this season. No, it's a. I think 6'9", athletic. There's potential there. There's potential, right? He fits the sort of timeline. 20 years old. You're throwing your phone around the studio.
I just couldn't bear to listen to your take, Ben.
Well, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think we have to dive into too much of the Josh Hall talk. We'll see if he has that potential, and who knows, maybe he shocks the world with being signed by the Toronto Raptors over Decker, over Wainwright, over Bonga. But it's going to be a fun watch for the next few days, and I think this kind of caught a few people off guard. Just the Raptors signing, you're expecting to see one of those names we were expecting, but then it's this player who can have his rights waived just immediately, but then sent down to the G League. But fun stuff. It's always interesting to see the chess games played by Masai Ujiri, but let us know what you guys think. Do you think we're underrating Josh Hall in this video? Do you think, are we missing something? Is he the explosive guy that was on a two-way contract for OKC? Let us know in the comment section below. You guys are best for making this far. Join the Raptors Digest membership. I think tonight, Riker, we gotta start taking in the links for the Yahoo. What are we doing? Yahoo or ESPN Fantasy League? So,
Yahoo.
Probably Yahoo, right? We'll see what the channel members are saying. But if you want to join the channel, if you want to be a part of the Raptors Digest Fantasy League, you made it this far. You're gonna be interested. You're interested in the Raptors if you made it 11 minutes deep into a video on a guy that's probably only gonna play in the 905, right? If you want to see your expertise, your knowledge, your deep dive takes shown on a YouTube channel, on a platform such as ours, right? We'll be showing it on the Fantasy League we're going to be rocking out this year. So join the channel. There should be a button down below. Riker's flexing the merch. We got the merch out there, right? The Raptors Digest logo hoodie. I think there's been some stuff. It's hidden on Spreadshop right now. We got to bring that back, but they're looking crisp. The OG's hoodies are looking crisp, so definitely cop some Raptors Digest merch. A lot of people are ordering them. I'm excited to see what people are saying about the merch, but there's that. The Twitter's back up and running. The TikTok, posted a TikTok today, Riker, on the IGs. We're blown out. Check it all out, right? The season's just around the corner. You guys are the best. Riker, do you have any last words on Josh Hall?
No, I do not. Cheers.